Hey, it's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com. 31st of December, it's pushing up to, well, it is now 10:30 p.m. So we have an hour and a half to go before the clock strikes midnight and we transition into 2021. So I thought I'd do a couple of very quick tarot card readings to kick off the year. For those of you who follow me, you will know that Tarot Tuesday is one of the favorite days of the month, and that's where I do free bonus Facebook Live tarot readings for anyone who wants a reading. I do that in my online membership group. So I thought I would just pull a couple of cards for this year. So I think what we're going to do, and we're going to do it the same as I do it on Tarot Tuesday, or if I'm doing individual tarot card readings, the cards all look exactly the same on the back, and of course they're all different on the front. So the way that I choose the cards is facing away from me, so I don't see those cards. And if you've ever watched any of my Facebook Lives with this before, or I've talked about it, one of the most consistent things I hear from people who have done the tarot card readings or take part in Tarot Tuesday is OMG, wow, and spot on. I think those are the quotes that I hear most often with regards to the tarot reading. Actually, have I got any of them in here? Let me just see if I've got any of them here. Is that one? Yeah, so this is one. So oftentimes I'll do the reading, people aren't there live, they'll come onto the Facebook Live, they'll watch the recording, listen to their reading. So someone has said, hi Marilyn, I've just listened to the reading and OMG, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, what can I say? But you were 1,000,000% spot on with my reading. I'm blown away with it all. So that happens consistently to the point where people then say, oh my God, you said this and this is what happened, or you said this and or you said this and I wasn't here because I've been doing exactly the thing you talked about. And it got to the point where it's like, whoa, because number one, I don't remember what I've said. But number two, I'm like, that's crazy. So I actually I went back and watched some of the videos, listened to the transcript, I wrote word for word what I said, and then with people's permission I cut and pasted what they said about the reading and what had happened and what had transpired, and I pull it all into a blog. So you've got the card that I pulled, what I said on the reading word for word, just typed it from the Facebook Live transcript, pasted in what they said as a result of listening to the reading, and I put that all together in a blog. So what I'll do is I'll add it into the comments of this video, or if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put the link to the blog into the description of this video, just so you can kind of see some of that feedback for yourself. But that's consistently kind of what people say. This is another one for Tarot Tuesday. Oh my God, this is so spot on. Good job, I'm lying down. So that's kind of cool. And those of you who joined me today for the New Life Script webinar, for example, you would have heard me talk about the process that I took myself through last year. And one of the things that came as a result of that was saying, you know, this was in September 2019, where I started thinking about the year ahead. And the thought that came as a result of that meditation, or I'd say the voice, said, 2020 is the year to focus on and speak about and write about flexible and remote working. Now, this is 6 months before we'd even started talking about COVID-19, lockdown, pandemic. That didn't exist. And this year I was saying I've written over 100 articles. This was just a little snapshot that I did back in March 2020 with just a few that I'd written for and spoken for. So I, did BBC Radio. Beginning of March, I think it was the 6th and the 13th of March, talking about remote working and what we see happening with that. The Guardian did a similar piece on remote working, Huffington Post People Management, Chartered Management Institute, Forbes magazine, and that's a very short list. Actually, I've still got it here because I was talking about it earlier. This is the spreadsheet, but this is a snapshot from the end of November, where I then started tracking all of the articles. There are over 100 of them now. And following on from that kind of insight and that intuitive piece, I co-authored 2 books, one in April, one in March, one in April of this year. Are they still here? Yes, they are, because I've shown them on my webinar. So they're real books. So I've written a chapter on remote working and a chapter on flexible working. So I would say that intuitive piece was absolutely, for myself, spot on as well. So yeah, that's a little bit of an insight into how this stuff tends to work. So let's see what we've got. Give them a shuffle. So we're going to do, we're going to pick a card for, let's do a bit of a retrospective first of all, and get some thoughts about 2020, and then we'll pick one for 2021. See what we got. Alrighty, so retrospective, we're going to go with that one there, and 2021, we're going to go with that one there. And I might pick a wild card in a moment just to also say, okay, anything else? Right, so first one. Oh my goodness. Okay. So 2020 card. I'll show it to you, then I'll read it to you, because if you're on a small device. So this is a page of Ariel. Reliable, clever, educated, balanced. It says an excellent opportunity will be offered to you, exclamation mark. Scholarships or the pursuit of education, time to get to work. Now, this is one where you kind of take yourself off and you go back to study, you go back to the books, you go back to focusing. And I have literally just been on a Clubhouse. I'm not going to, that's the Clubhouse. So it's still there, it's live. I'm just charging my iPad. It was down to 16%, having spent so much time in Clubhouse today. But there were several people in that Clubhouse saying that 2020 has been an incredible opportunity for them to get their head down, to study, to re-educate themselves, to reskill, to get back to balance, to get back to center. And somebody, the way she worded it was along the lines of, it gave us the gift of time to focus on who we are and what we want to do. So this card kind of is talking about the fact that this year we were afforded the time to study, the time for introspection, the time for reskilling, upskilling. The term that's been used all over the place is to pivot. And in order to pivot, people had to learn new skills. So you might not necessarily have been learning from a traditional book, but there'll be people taking courses, they're online, they're studying what's on YouTube, etc. And they're relearning and re-educating and reskilling and retraining. I even remember that big debacle with the government, where it was about never mind being a ballet dancer, why don't you become a welder instead, or something like that. And I know they didn't mean it to be offensive in that way, but it didn't go down particularly well. But this card is talking about 2020 has been the year for study, pursuing things that maybe you've always wanted to do. I know many people, for example, started businesses. Some of them were businesses they'd always wanted to do, and it's like, well, I've got nothing to lose now, I might as well do it. And others, it was out of necessity, but nonetheless, you did it. So really, really kind of interesting. See what we've got for this one. And 2021, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, this is so cool. Right, so you've got the major arcana, you've got the minor. The major arcana is about big life changes, the beginnings and startings of new cycles. This is card 0. So this is the start of the major arcana. This is the start of a journey, which I think is absolutely perfect as we close out 1 year, clean slate, fresh slate, as we were doing in the New Life Script webinar a few hours ago. And the leap of faith is a clean start. It's the beginning of a new cycle. So this, you couldn't have picked a more, well, I couldn't have picked a more perfect card, but you couldn't have picked a more perfect card to denote the beginning of something fresh and something new. So this one is the leap of faith, Archangel Metatron, and it says, believe in yourself, listen to your heart, do what gives you joy. Now, this is also a really nice follow on from this and from the Clubhouse thing I was just talking about, because many people were actually, they had to reevaluate, you had to reassess, not because you chose to, but if you were furloughed, if you were laid off, you had no choice. And many people started to reevaluate and go, hold on a minute, who am I? and what do I really want to do? What am I passionate about? And a lot of the businesses that I've seen starting up, people have looked at what they're passionate about and then thought, okay, how can I turn that into something that I can do? And so this one is really key. Self-belief. If there's one conversation I've heard more than any other this past week, with the things that I've been listening to, with the groups that I've been participating in, with the breakthrough sessions I've been doing, self-belief sits at the core of that and sits at the heart of that. I think one of the reasons it's so prevalent is that 2020 stripped away many of the things that you would call your identity, what you do for a living, your job, your work, your business, your livelihood. Your health was potentially under threat as well, hence the lockdown, the wearing of masks, all the rest of it. It's family, relationships, social life. So all of the ways that people make up their identity, those have been snatched away this year. And so as we start into 2021, I would say this one is an invitation. If you don't already believe in yourself, so in limiting belief terms, so talking to a client earlier this week, was saying to her that the big limiting belief that I overcame in the year 2000, didn't realize I was carrying that belief, and at first was quite resistant to the thought, like, I'm fine, thank you very much, is I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not capable enough. So when those changed, everything changed. So if you know that you are carrying something along those lines, the invitation will be to sort that out as we transition into the new year, so that it does not become baggage that gets magnified as we go into 2021. Because like there is still, we still got some things and hurdles to overcome, some things to navigate through. And so do the self-belief work if that's not already part of who you are. The whole thing about listening to your heart, what gives you joy, what brings you pleasure, what do you really truly want to do? So I did a Facebook Live a few minutes ago about the power of 4 with the soul plan reading, the HUNA session, the tarot session, the future life progression session. It's the kind of a bundle package. But one of the things I was saying about the soul plan, and to an extent the future life progression, it's about looking at your soul purpose, looking at your soul destiny, looking at what you are here to do, looking at your skills, looking at your talents, looking at your gifts, looking at your abilities, looking at your goals, and how to step into that and how to live into that, how to get greater clarity to that. So that's a really that's basically what this card is talking about, in terms of being able to listen to your heart. And one of the ways you can listen to your heart is when you are, as the term we use today in the New Life Script webinar, was being a clear channel and a clear vessel. Because when you are bogged down with the limiting beliefs and the negative emotions, you can barely even think straight a lot of the time. So this one, clear out anything that might be stopping and blocking your sense of self-belief, and then listening to your heart at the core of your being, in soul plan terms, what's your soul destiny, and taking the leap of faith to do what brings you joy. Many people have already lived a life of doing things that they don't particularly love or enjoy. Some of that has now had to be put on hold and put on pause. And so taking the opportunity that was afforded in 2020 in having to stop and take stock, and as we come into 2021, looking at all of the learnings, looking at everything that came to pass, and then kind of saying, right, you know what? With everything that I know that I've experienced, that I've been through, the realizations you've had, the things that have been brought to your attention, oftentimes these things are forged. It's like being the coal under pressure. What are some of the gems and what are some of the diamonds that come from that? And if you were to take a leap of faith in 2021, what would you choose to do? Actually, I've had the leap of faith card probably about 7 or 8 years ago. And I remember doing Virtue at that time when she was still doing this stuff. And then Radley Valentine, about 20 hours after I did my reading, I did it as a video, it was on YouTube. They also pulled exactly the same card, the leap of faith. So it's going to be interesting to see what the vibe is as people start, doing their predictions, etc., for the year ahead. Right, let me have another look at these two together and just see if there's anything. Actually, I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but one of the things that stands out when I look at these two cards together, this may be the year. Of course, it's all free will. You have choice, but this may be the year where if you choose to, you will be more in the spotlight. That's a choice. You don't have to be, but that's what it feels like. It feels like this is the year, 2021 I'm talking about, will be the year where your skills, your talents, your abilities finally, particularly if it's something you've been working towards in terms of bringing everything together, this feels like the year where potentially the spotlight will be shining on you. You will have center stage. It's like lights, camera, action. And that's the point. Then you want to be ready. You don't want to have any of that emotional baggage standing in the way, because when that opportunity comes, you want to be ready to take it. Now, who is your trusted companion as you move into 2021? So very funny. I was going to say that, then I wasn't going to say that, and now the song Lean on Me. Now, when I say lean on, I don't mean in a, you know, energy draining kind of way. The in this picture, in this card, it's depicted as the trusty collie, the dog. So with this particular one, you know, dog, very loyal. You know, people sit and will pour their heart out to their pets. So it might be that it's a pet, but if it's a person, who is your supporter? Let's say it might be a mentor, it might be a coach, it might be a good objective friend, but it's going to be really important that you've got that person, someone who's got your back. When I say cheerleader, that's not quite the right term, but it's someone who will be there just to say the right thing at the right time, to give you, that's what I'm looking for, words of encouragement, give you words of encouragement. So you want to make sure, if you haven't already connected with that person, you might want to reconnect with that person. And it won't necessarily be that you're talking to them every 5 minutes. It might be 3 months from now. You kind of want to talk over an idea or something you've been thinking about, and having that person there who can be that that sounding board for you. Potentially, as we go into 2021, if you choose to take those steps and choose to take a leap of faith, this is also the place where, now I'm going to say transformation, and this, you know, sometimes like a breakthrough session, for example, that's one day, 8 hours. You know, when I, for the first, you know, few years I did it, come in at 10, finish at 5. Off you go, have a nice life. Now I kind of block it into blocks of 2 hours, but that's a dynamic process. In, out, we're done. This one feels as though the transformation comes as a result of seeds that have been planted as long as 10 years ago. So maybe something that you started, or something you've been wishing for, hoping for, half kind of working towards. It feels as though 2021, where, and even it might even been as long as 20 years ago, but it feels like 2021, whereas finally, when you think of like the caterpillar in the chrysalis, etc., this is finally the year where it starts to flourish, where actually you start to flourish, because it feels as though you'll be more in the place to give yourself permission, where before the pandemic it was kind of just plodding along and doing what you need to do. And it's almost as though 2020 has kind of been the wake up call and the reset in terms of, whoa, that's saying, if not now, when? It feels like there's that kind of energy driving into 2021. Anything else about these two? Okay. One of the, again, you're going to have to kind of do with this what you will in terms of what's your interpretation of this, but it feels as though part of the year is going to be driven by more of your masculine energy. And let me put that into different style of words so I can explain it differently, so you might kind of get it more easily. Okay, I'm not quite sure that's going to be ideal, but let's start with that. But almost like the action man energy. So I did have an action man doll. He was a very cool doll, actually. I remember his textured hair, and he had eyes that would move from side to side, and he was wearing like the Green Army outfit, but I digress. But it's like that kind of energy. It's the driving force energy. This is not necessarily the year to sit about on your laurels. This is the year to get stuff done. This is a year to move on your, 2021 I'm talking about, is the year to move on your ideas, to take action, to drive something home, to find that last bit of energy. I've never run a marathon, but or even if you just do not, you know, it's still a long run, but you know, 1500 meters, for example, 100-meter sprint, you just need that flash of energy. 1500 meters and definitely a marathon that gets a point, particularly with the marathon, where you hit the wall and your legs go from underneath you. So if you're coming into 2021 feeling as though you're almost at the point where you hit the wall, the requirement, it's like, where are you going to find that last burst of energy to drive this thing home? And then that, and once you've done that, once you've taken those last few steps, because sometimes you've put this feels like whatever this is, you've already put a lot of the work in, you've put a lot of the time in, you've put a lot of the mental energy in, and 2021 is about digging deep almost and finding, you know, the reserves in the tank. And actually, even if I'm saying that, it's like, no, but when I say it like that, it's almost like, oh, it's so hard, because you see people after the London Marathon all over the place. This doesn't feel like that. This is like, you know what, when you have the right support and the right energy behind you, it's okay. This is more kind of getting to it. Sorry, it's unraveling, so I can see what I want to say. It's like there's not the word yet, but now, okay, if I say Rocky, duh, 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 duh. Those of you of a certain age will know that song, and the energy, and you know, Rocky going up and down the stairs outside of the government building. This feels like that energy where it's like, whoa, something happens to give you that kind of fuel, and so you're not having to feel like you're draining the tank. This is more, you're fired up. So that's really kind of where I'm going with this one. So it doesn't feel draining, it doesn't feel tiring, it doesn't feel like you have to drag yourself around. Something, or you yourself are working on getting yourself fired up. That's the way I'm going to put it. Let me just, have I got them here? Yes, I have. I'm going to pull a couple of cards from my decks as well. So this is just in terms of a coaching message. So this is the kind of coaching cards deck. I think there are 44 of these or something like that. So again, they're all completely blank. They're exactly the same on the back. But of course, take out the holding cards. They're all very, 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 very different pictures on the actual card itself. So if there is going to be a coaching message, something to think about for 2021, let's put the study and introspection energy of 2020 to one side. Let's look at 2021. So if there's going to be, hey Fahan, hi Jake, da, da, da. Such great timing, sounds perfect. I'm glad to hear that. Feels like pulling it out of the hat. Yes, digging deep, getting to the depths of your reserves and going really, really, really deep to the last push. Absolutely, like a second wind. Perfect. That's exactly the vibe I was going for. Hey Jake, how are you? Right, hold on. So let's have a cool message, coaching message for 2021. What do we need? What do we want to think about? Alrighty, here we go. So 2021. I'm going to go with that one there. Oh, okay. All right. So the reason I went, oh, is like, okay, there's no getting away. I said the leap of faith for 2021, believe in yourself, exclamation mark. And then I did a little spiel for those of you who are just coming in later, talking about limiting beliefs, negative emotions. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not capable enough. And how the invitation is, if you're carrying any of that stuff, to sort it out as we transition into the new year. This one comes oftentimes, and you guys will know, for those of you who have done readings with me before, or intuitive sessions, Huna, etc., you will know that the messages keep coming to drive something home. So let me show you this card. It's called Inherited Beliefs, and it says, and I quote, "With old beliefs, paradigms, and ideas, ask, Who does this belong to? Question mark. Is it yours or someone else's? Question mark. Then it says, 2 of my favorite modalities for clearing old beliefs are timeline therapy and access consciousness. So if you were kind of going, oh, sort of got a few beliefs that might get in the way, this one is like, okay, we're not getting away from this idea now. As we go into 2021, if you want to make the most of it, and you know, not everybody, there'll be people who are like, no, I'm good, thanks, cleared those limiting beliefs. That's amazing, excellent, well done, fabulous. But if you haven't, the invitation here is to assist you with that leap of faith, to assist you in the things that you want to do, to assist you with potentially being more in the spotlight and center stage of what you're doing. Some of that might be being more recognized for what you do. And I don't mean recognizing you're walking down the street and somebody goes, oh my God, it's you, but having acknowledgement for your work. If you have any old inherited beliefs, sit down, ask yourself those questions. Who does this belong to? Is it yours or someone else's? And then sort those out, because that's going to be, I think, pivotal for making the most of 2021. If I were going to sum it up in a sentence, I'd say it's about letting go of old emotional baggage. I'm going to pick one from the Money Oracle card deck. This is a bigger deck. This is about 70 odd cards. So the holding cards are in there somewhere. And again, they're exactly the same on the back, all completely different on this side. So let's give them a shuffle. Actually, let's put that over there. I normally have the holding cards to the top, but holy hum, let's see what we'll pick anyway. Right, so what are we thinking about the energy of this? What would be a good message to kick start 2021? Oh, gratitude is sat there on the top of the others. Right, okay, so do you know what? The first one that gets my attention is that one there. Ooh, okay. We're kind of being invited to go and do a bit of deep dive exploration. So let me show you that one, and I'll read it and tell you what it says. Soul exploration. Now this is the money breakthrough deck. So this one is talking about what is the soul of money for you. If you have the MP3 recording, take yourself through the guided meditation process to identify it more fully. This one, however, let me take the word money out of that. And I'm going to say that a really good exercise to do, and it might be one that you want to do as we transition into the new year. You might want to do it for New Year's Day, the next couple of days. But you just kind of say, okay, what does your soul want? What does your soul desire? What is it that when you are more in tuned and in alignment with that would bring you more of a sense of joy? So for example, the thing that comes to mind of all the things that are on my soul plan, one of the things that stands out for me is the gift of oration. If I'd seen that 21 years ago, I would have laughed you out of town because I was very quiet and very shy and terrified of public speaking. But that is one of the themes. It shows up in various ways in my soul plan. So I always say that the information in your soul plan will find you eventually, and you can come willingly or you can go kicking and screaming. I went kicking and screaming. But when you find that thing, that we're back to this one, listen to your heart, do what gives you joy. When you tap into that, it just opens up so many opportunities, and you then do things with a sense of passion, with a sense of joy, with a sense of energy. So for example, I was on a Clubhouse last night. Somebody invited me to come and speak in their Clubhouse room. You know what I'm talking about if you're on the app. And they said, oh, we're going live at 9 p.m. I was like, oh yeah, great. And then I went, hold on a minute, he's in America. And when I looked, that was at 2 o'clock in the morning. So it started at 2 o'clock in the morning. It finished at 4:30 this morning. That was this morning. So at 4:45, basically, once we finished chatting, finished at 4:45 this morning. The day before, exactly the same thing happened. Somebody else said, I'm running a Clubhouse room, Marilyn. So yesterday we're talking about relationships. The day before they said, can you come in? We're going to maybe talk about emotional well-being and mental health. I'd love to get your input. I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. They told me the time. Again, I'm there till like 5 o'clock in the morning. And the morning before that, something else happened. So I was up late. So, 3 days now of still being, we like literally working until 5 o'clock in the morning. But because I like what I do, I enjoy what I do. I ran a webinar today, 2-hour webinar, the New Life Script, because I'm doing what I enjoy and it's something that feeds my soul. It doesn't, if this was a regular job, can you imagine working and literally speaking, answering questions until 4:30, 5 in the morning? Most people be like, but because it's something you enjoy, it's something that feeds your soul, you have a different kind of energy and a different kind of vibe around it. So this one, I would say with 2021, it's the year to take a leap of faith. It's a fresh start, new beginning, and self-belief is going to be at the heart of that. So getting rid of old emotional baggage, looking at what brings you joy. What is it that makes your heart and soul sing? So if you do already have your soul plan, my suggestion is to go back and reread it. I shared a couple of quotes earlier this month with one of my clients, Claire Moorcroft, doing some incredible work at the moment in terms of sex and kind of really getting connected to yourself. She went back and read her soul plan. I think it was 5 or 7 years after we did it, because we did it 5 or 7 years ago. And she said, I've just reread my soul plan and it still resonates and it now speaks to what I'm doing. Because when I met her, she was in marketing and selling medical devices. And so going back and reading her soul plan, all those years later, I shared the quote from Kate Thomas. She, at that point, she went back 7 months after having her soul plan done and said it's still resonating. And I know when I found mine 5 years after I'd had it done and read it, stuff that wasn't really that relevant to me at the time, it's like, whoa, that's totally up for me now. And it really speaks to where I am. And it took me by surprise. I'm like, how did that happen? And I was like, okay, your soul plan, it's kind of like a living and breathing document. It's about your life. So as long as you're here, there are going to be elements of that's unfolding. So if you already have your soul plan, and those of you who have attended the Mind, Body, Spirit, Energy Fest workshop, you will have a copy of your soul plan report. My suggestion is we go into 2021 in the next couple of days, find that file, sit and read your soul plan, but read it with the intention and purpose of highlighting, is there anything now that as you've changed and evolved over the years that it's going to be worth you looking at in terms of clearing and resolving? So with that, you look at worldly challenges and spiritual challenges, for example, and note that you can look at all of the aspects, whatever you want to do, but that's the most obvious place to go. But there are, of course, challenges in the talents and goals aspect as well. And then look at it and say, right, now I'm looking at this again with fresh eyes. Is there anything in the goals and skills and talents or soul destiny area which speak to me in a different way, which would be a really good thing for me to pursue this year? But leap of faith 0, card 0 in the major arcana signals big life changes, but the leap of faith is where it's at. So cool, hold on. Farhan says, especially if we don't have many activities that bring us joy yet. Absolutely. How can we discover that sense of joy? Farhan, definitely the soul plan, and treat it like an intuitive read where you open it and say, okay, clarity is, show me 2 or 3 things that really stand out for me right now that will bring me a sense of joy. And as you're going through the soul plan, I pretty much guarantee there are going to be a few things, 2 or 3 things that stand out. Also, just simply asking yourself the question, what brings me a sense of joy? Depending on how intuitive you are and how connected you are and how much your unconscious mind wants to play in that moment, you might get something that comes to mind straight away. Or it may be that it's an unfolding. So which one is it? So my logo for the past 20 years has been the ripple effect. And these questions, I call them putting them out into the universe. So you put the question out there, what is it that brings me a sense of joy? Put it out into the universe. And then, and there's a card in both of these stacks that says, notice what you notice. You then notice what you notice about thoughts, ideas, inspirations, intuitive hits, the divine intervention, the divine guidance, as I call it. your request will be answered. The key thing is just to get the ball rolling. So I would just say put it out there as a question. So brilliant. Always a pleasure to have you here, Farhan. Lovely to see you. And weirdly, actually, I don't know, are you in Clubhouse? You don't have to answer here. But if you're not, I have nominated, you're one of the people that I nominated. So look out for that. And that means, you know, you can put someone's name forward. You have to write a little summary of why you think they would be good for Clubhouse. And I blurred your name out, but I did a Facebook Live today about Clubhouse. But when you read the nomination that I put forward, that nomination for Han was actually yours, about you. But I don't know if Clubhouse have been in touch with you yet to invite you into the app. But if you're not already in, I think you'd really enjoy it. But yes, lovely to have you here as well. Right. And absolutely, just so people can see that for themselves in terms of a reminder about some of the vibe of 2021, the digging deep, getting into the depths of your reserves and giving it that last push. Absolutely kind of, you know, what it's about. Have to check it out. Saw it earlier today with someone else mentioning it. Well, you remember when you invited me to Blab? This is like the audio version of Blab. So yes, absolutely check it out. But it's invite only at the moment. So it's one of those things, if your name's not on the list, you're not coming in. So but when you do join, you only get one invite, but then there's a way in the back that you can nominate a couple of people as well. So I thought, who are the couple of people that I want to nominate? And you were the first person on my list. So I filled that in on your behalf. And of course, you can always turn the nomination down when it arrives. But my suggestion is go for it, because it's been fantastic. So yeah, it's kind of taken intimate communication to a whole new level, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, so it's weird that you should be here, Farhan, because just before I did this video, I did the one about what is Clubhouse, how does it work, how do you get in, and I did the screenshot of the nomination, but I blurred your name out. So I was literally thinking of you today. So I do love the way synchronicity works and the way that things unfold. Cool, fab. So 2020 was about learning, introspection, getting to work, reskilling, or pivot, the way we've been calling it now. 2021, fresh start, leap of faith, listening to your heart, sorting out any old inherited limiting beliefs that you might be carrying. And with this one, where it talks about inherited beliefs, this is where you pick up thoughts and beliefs and ideas that don't even belong to you. You've just inherited them. You pick them up as a result of the society, what's going on around you, or you make meaning of things that other people have said and done, and you take those actions and go, well, that must mean X, Y, Z. So that's what the inherited beliefs piece is about. And, you know, mixing that with the self-belief. Cool. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, 2020. It's been interesting, to say the least. And yeah, let's see what 2021 has in store. I was just speaking to my friend Gina. This time last year, we were getting on a plane, because these were my goals for 2020 in terms of speaking and writing for the press and media about flexible and remote working, which I did. Started doing that in October 2019, well before the world was working remotely. Wanted to do more press and media. That certainly happened. I've written over 100 magazine and newspaper articles this year. Speak and run workshops internationally with the TCCHE. We were broadcasting live to 44 countries. So if that's not going global, I don't know what was. And holiday, Gina and I, so when I was speaking to her just before this, she was like, oh my god, this time last year we were flying to Gran Canaria, and this was from January 2020. So, you know, at that point where these photos were taken, the one in the middle is being up in the aircraft when we were leaving the UK. Whoa, came back to a completely different world. So as quickly as things can change, my intention and my hope for us all is that we have that same kind of instant change and transformation in 2021, and this things turn around and improve in ways that we couldn't even conceive or imagine of in this moment. And one of the keys to that is remaining open, noticing what you notice. I can hear Bon Jovi now. Keep the faith, keeping the faith and keeping your focus on what it is you actually want and choose to create. So here's to an incredible, fantastic 2021, where we all get to live out our heart's desires and all of those plans and things that we've been working on and kind of nurturing and building over the last 20 or so years. Here's the year. My intention is that this is the year that they all now start to come to fruition in ways that you couldn't even have imagined. And when we're sitting here on the 31st of December 2021, that we start going, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. I couldn't have imagined how the thing that happened in 2020 has led to this and led to that and led to the other, what I call joining the dots and the silver lining. So yeah, here we go. For those of you in the membership group, Tarot Tuesday is coming up. So I'll put the thread up for that in the next couple of days if you do want an individual reading. Yeah, and if you wanted to book an individual reading, if you're not in the membership group and doing the free readings, Facebook Live readings, just go to my main website, www.transformationstm.com/tarot readings. That's going to be coming along the bottom of the ticker tape. And in terms of the site itself, Trance, TRANCE, F for Freddie, so FORMATIONS, transformationstm.com /tarot readings. If you want to book an individual readings, I do those via telephone, Skype, or my online meeting room. Have been doing those online. I've been doing online coaching, online training, and online therapy since 2005. So all of the processes are tried and tested, not just shoved into a square peg round hole just because we're in lockdown. So yeah, if you wanted to book an individual reading, go to the website. You've got 3 different options to choose from there. That will be fabulous. And I will post the link to the blog that I mentioned in the comments if you're watching this on Facebook. I'll put it into the description if you're watching this on YouTube. Yeah, so 2021, here we come. Let's rock and roll. Catch you all later, and feel free to share this video if you know someone who could benefit. Happy New Year, and let's see what 2021 has in store.